So do you feel free now to try everything? I mean, what is the next 5 years of, well, in terms of...
Fall of Blake is super important because it represents our collective awakening, specifically to celebrities that we should not be idolizing. And they hate that.
I think I know why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds stepped out for the first time since all the drama to the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary. At the end of the day, this is all for PR.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have spent years captivating the world with their picture-perfect marriage, witty social media banter, and seemingly flawless Hollywood presence. The red carpet smiles, the playful jabs, the coordinated appearances, everything about them screams power couple. It's practically impossible not to admire their polished image. But what if this sparkling facade is just that, a carefully constructed performance? Over the last few months, more and more whispers have surfaced, hinting that the so-called golden couple might be hiding some deep cracks in their foundation. From abrupt on-set feuds to colossal legal showdowns, the rumors keep stacking up, and once you start peeling back the layers, you might never see them the same way again. Stay tuned, because what's lurking beneath their shining Hollywood persona could be far darker and more twisted than we ever imagined. For years, both fans and media outlets have praised Blake and Ryan as the ultimate relationship goals. He's the lovable, wisecracking star of Deadpool, and she's the graceful, fashion-forward actor who rose to fame on Gossip Girl. They routinely engage in good-humored social media spats, share sweet photos with their children, and appear to champion each other's careers. It's a brand that sells, a brand that resonates with everyday people who crave a relatable celebrity couple. But was this all orchestrated? Some insiders claim that the Lively-Reynolds charm offensive is an elaborate, painstakingly managed PR effort. They point out that both stars came out of rocky or lackluster projects. Ryan's early attempts at superhero stardom famously bombed with Green Lantern, while Blake's transition to film after Gossip Girl took time to gain traction. A strategy was needed to keep them in the public eye, and nothing snags attention quite like a heartwarming romance. The question is, how far would they go to maintain that ideal couple aura? According to emerging stories, there's a lot at stake. Big money, bigger reputations, and colossal egos. And while the surface looked calm for years, a sudden series of messy showdowns now threatens to unravel that carefully woven image, but that wasn't the whole story. At first, the controversy seemed almost random. Blake Lively teamed up with Justin Baldoni to film an adaptation of the novel It Ends With Us. Fans of the book were cautiously excited. After all, it's a deeply emotional story with a massive following. Then came rumblings that Blake was at odds with Justin, alleging improper behavior on set. The notion alone caused a media frenzy. Blake, after all, has a loyal fan base that rarely questions her motivations. Then, the narrative flipped. Justin fired back, accusing Blake of twisting events to control the project. Suddenly, talk of a multi-hundred-million-dollar lawsuit hit the headlines. Some people even claimed Ryan had interfered, demanding changes to the script to ensure Blake was the unequivocal star. Next came rumors that the pair tried to pin blame on Justin, effectively removing him from his own vision. When lawyers got involved, the entire fiasco exploded to the tune of a rumored $400 million. It's the kind of legal figure that makes everyone stop and pay attention. What if Blake's initial claims weren't exactly what they seemed? Industry insiders started whispering about a pattern where the power couple secures total creative control or steamrolls anyone in their path. Those voices grew louder when other pieces of the puzzle came to light. Bits of gossip from colleagues, co-stars, and directors who'd worked with the Lively Reynolds team. Before long, even the most die-hard fans began wondering if they'd been sold an illusion all this time. And Blake wasn't the only one in the hot seat. Ryan Reynolds has long been dubbed the ultimate nice guy of Hollywood. He cracks jokes in interviews, shows up for charity events, and never seems to take himself too seriously, at least on camera. But according to some of his co-stars, that persona might be strictly for the spotlight. One surprising voice came from an unlikely source: reality TV stars from Jersey Shore. When asked which celebrity was the rudest in person, they tentatively mentioned Ryan Reynolds. Although they tried to downplay it, saying they still adored him and Blake, There was no mistaking the awkwardness in their stories. Apparently, Ryan made it clear he wanted nothing to do with them, brushing them off in an unpleasant manner. That might sound trivial, but it's certainly not the only time colleagues have described Ryan as standoffish or dismissive. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Rebecca Ferguson shared an experience about a co-star so insecure that he lashed out in anger, belittling her in front of the crew. She never named names, but fans began to connect the dots with startling speed. Ryan was on a short list of possibilities, and the rumor mill quickly hopped on the story. TJ Miller, who played Weasel in Deadpool, later came forward, claiming he'd never work with Ryan again, insisting the star had crossed the line from playful banter to downright insulting remarks. His conclusion? Ryan was painfully insecure and needed to remind everyone that he was the real star. But could there be more to this pattern than mere hearsay? If co-star drama can be chalked up to clashing personalities, what about the opinions of A-list directors and respected peers in the industry? Deadpool director Tim Miller walked away from the sequel, publicly citing creative differences with Ryan Reynolds. Word on the street was that Ryan insisted on total creative control. He wanted to shape the film without pushback, effectively overshadowing Tim's role. When Tim balked, Ryan's influence allegedly forced him out. The outcome? Tim parted ways, and Ryan took tighter hold of the franchise, shaping Deadpool 2 much more to his liking. It doesn't end there. Quentin Tarantino, known for his scathing honesty, once lumped Ryan's Netflix films into a category he described as mediocre and forgettable, movies that make a quick splash but leave no lasting impact. Gerard Butler, too, made it crystal clear he wasn't interested in any comparisons to Ryan's work, brushing off Free Guy with an almost dismissive wave. Chris Columbus condemned Ryan's attempt to reboot Home Alone with a stoner twist, calling it disrespectful and unnecessary. When multiple industry heavyweights, people known for shaping Hollywood's biggest hits, are wary of collaborating with you, that's a glaring red flag. One or two critics might be chalked up to personal grudges, but the growing list of voices suggests a pattern of creative control issues, insecurity, and an abrasive attitude once the cameras stop rolling. But what about Ryan's personal life? There's more drama there than you might expect. Before Blake Lively, Ryan was married to another Hollywood powerhouse, Scarlett Johansson. On paper, they seemed like a match made in celebrity heaven. Both young, both on the rise. The wedding was low-key, the press coverage minimal. Then, almost out of nowhere, they split. Later interviews with Scarlett hinted that her success became a sore point. Roles like Black Widow catapulted her into an A-list stratosphere, while Ryan, at that time, was still finding his footing post-Green Lantern fiasco. Scarlett has been vocal about not tolerating controlling or jealous behavior. In her eyes, a relationship only works when both parties can celebrate each other's wins without feeling threatened. Her thinly veiled comments about jealousy and insecurity paint a pretty vivid picture of why the marriage might have gone sour. She even described the situation as volatile, which doesn't exactly square with the fun-loving persona Ryan projects to the world. Adding more fuel to the fire, rumors have long circulated that Ryan met Blake while still married to Scarlett, but already disenchanted with the relationship. Their chemistry on Green Lantern was apparent to anyone on set. Soon after the shoot, he and Scarlett parted ways, and not long after that, Blake and Ryan became the new It couple. Some folks even suspect there was an overlap, though, to be fair, Hollywood thrives on speculation. Still, the timing is enough to raise eyebrows. Yet even Blake's biggest supporters didn't see the next controversy coming.
After the Justin Baldoni lawsuit news blew up, Blake and Ryan attempted damage control. Their appearance at Saturday Night Live's big anniversary celebration seemed like a power move to show they still had Hollywood's support. Yet, the vibe was off. Their jokes felt forced, and when Ryan tried to poke fun at his legal drama, the audience reaction was muted. The biggest red flag? Blake's uneasy expression whenever Ryan spoke on stage. Some watchers claimed she seemed uncertain about the material he was riffing on, as if even she wasn't fully on board with turning their legal woes into comedic fodder. Critics on social media branded it a cringe fest, with many accusing them of exploiting the SNL platform to clean up their tarnished image. If they hoped to appear cool and collected amid the Baldoni lawsuit or the swirling rumors about Ryan's poor on-set behavior, the attempt may have backfired spectacularly. Justin Baldoni's lawyer didn't hesitate to criticize them for joking about accusations of defamation and extortion. Even longtime fans were torn. Could they reconcile the easygoing personalities they'd grown to love with these increasingly troubling headlines? Or was this the moment they realized Blake and Ryan might just be skilled at playing roles, even when off the set? But is this enough to topple their reign as Tinseltown's golden duo? For a long time, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds dazzled everyone. They appeared in each other's social media feeds with witty captions, hopped onto red carpets looking in sync, and showcased a picture-perfect family life that felt both aspirational and approachable. They seemed like that rare couple who truly had it all. Now, the darker stories are getting harder to ignore. Allegations of on-set intimidation, overshadowing directors, legal threats, and a potential pattern of PR manipulation have turned the once beloved duo into a magnet for scandal. And the deeper you dig, the more you find. Ex-spouses speaking up about jealousy issues, co-stars describing borderline bullying, and big-name industry figures scorning Ryan's approach to filmmaking. Is this the beginning of a monumental downfall, or will their carefully managed brand weather the storm yet again? The entertainment world has seen countless public figures topple from their pedestals after a series of exposés and controversies. Just as often, some celebrities deftly spin negative press into a redemption arc. Only time will tell which path Blake and Ryan end up following. For now, you have to wonder, were we ever really seeing the real Blake and Ryan? Maybe the glimpses we caught on talk shows and social media were an expertly choreographed act. Either way, the next chapter of their story is unfolding fast, and there's no shortage of skeptics waiting to see if all those polished smiles and insider connections can hold up against these growing scandals. Thank you for watching. If you found these revelations eye-opening, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into Hollywood secrets.